Hi, my name is Morgan, and this is my week 10 discussion post. So, what experiences do I have using PowerPoint? Freshman year of high school, I had to take a course where I learned how to do PowerPoint, Excel, and Word. We did have to take like exams and do like courses and learn about each one, like every little detail. Very hard class. I honestly kind of struggled in some parts, surprisingly not as easy as it looks to remember each site, but I'd say I know a decent amount of PowerPoint from that, but it was so long ago that I think I'd need a decent refresher on every just the little things, and then once I get that, I think I'd learn it faster than maybe most people because I've already learned it in the past. And then what tips and advice do I have for other people when preparing a presentation? I feel like something that helps me the most is writing things down. I like to, before I type up my presentation on my computer, I'd rather go and write down little notes and kind of plan it out on paper just so I can see it before I see it on the computer, I guess. I'm just more of a, I think, writer than a typer. I just think I can see better on the paper than on the computer, if that makes any sense. But that's just personally. And then, how can your use of language play a role in the message or delivery? I think being a little bit more proper, I think, gives your presentation a little bit more credibility almost. If you're talking I don't know, using maybe slang or I don't know, you kind of know what I mean here. I think it just comes off as less serious. And also just being quieter. Maybe people don't hear you and they just don't understand what you're saying because you're so quiet. I think that definitely plays a role in how other people will see your presentation. And then describe a time when you listened to a successful presentation with visuals, and then describe an unsuccessful presentation. I feel like my presentation, when I was doing a demonstration presentation on curling hair, I feel like that was a decent use of my visual because I brought my curling iron in and was able to show it while I was explaining it with words. Curling your hair is something that maybe to some people sounds easy when you're saying it, but when you see it and do it, it maybe some people just need to see that stuff. I feel especially curling hair, I've tried to teach people just by saying it or just by showing it, and I think that none of those ways work, just hearing it or just seeing it. I think you have to combine both just for that specific topic. So I feel like that was a good use of a visual. And then one where I feel like a visual was just kind of in the way, I saw a presentation where someone was making slime, and I feel like slime is it's so a recipe to a point where it wasn't needed more so just because it was so self-explanatory that them making the slime was just distracting them from talking in depth about how to make the slime, if that makes sense. They were just making it rather than actually telling us how much of this and what needs to be put in, just stuff like that. So I feel like that was a presentation where a visual wasn't in best interest of the presentation. But thank you so much for listening.